Welcome back to another Spirit Island video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about competitive Spirit Island, but more specifically, play-by-post PvP. Now, this is the sixth game that we've done with this, I guess, modified rule set. It was originally created by this user here, and I modified it for the PvP number 6. Now, the general principles. So, the whole point of PvP is to put two teams against each other and have them play Spirit Island and to see which team can win given a set of rules that we've created. Now, there are multiple ways to approach it. I know when I was brainstorming ways to do a PvP Spirit Island, I thought about maybe doing same events, like have all of the decks the same adversaries, same spirits. And while I think that would probably create the most, in quotes, competitive environment, I think it gets rid of a lot of the fun elements that you could actually implement. And that's something that this user was able to do in the rule set. Now, so some things. So decisions in one game do not affect the other. Like each board state is its own individual board state. The purpose of this is to have the opposing team control some of the adversary elements in your game. When I say adversary elements, I'm talking about events. I'm talking about explorers, blight cards, stuff like that. Now, the adversary components, you're not going to control the fear cards, you're not going to control power card gains. That's something that's still left up to the RNG element. Now, how to win. The winning team is the team that wins their Spirit Island game in the fewest turns. And this still needs to be ironed out a little bit more, but essentially whoever wins fastest. So if you have a team that wins, let's say, turn 5 in the event, while the following team wins turn 5 in the Ravage, the team that wins in the event phase will win. Now, if both teams win in the exact, in quotes, phase of the game, we have this score here. And this is something that I recently implemented for this. And it's both teams are going to count the remaining blight on the island. They're going to count all of the unmodified invader health, and they'll count the remaining Dahan. And then they'll plug all of those numbers into this formula. And then whatever team has the lowest score wins. So obviously, each blight counts as 3, so that sucks. And then if you protect your Dahan, that's going to help increase your score, or in this case, decrease the score, but that's what you're looking for. Now, the adversary pool and the spirit pool. What makes this interesting, or what I really like about this, is there's a shared adversary pool for both teams. And there's going to be 10 different double adversary combinations. They're going to be between the difficulty range of 10.5 and 11, maybe 11.5. Now, this is estimated. This is stuff that me and my group have we've played these combinations before. We've given them a rough estimate, and that's what we're using. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. If you're just going by the difficulties that are listed, sometimes they're not accurate. So that's why we're doing it like this. So teams will have the opportunity to ban up to a total of 4 adversary combinations out of the 10. And then when a combination is banned, it cannot be picked as an adversary by either team. And I'll talk more about this later when we get to the ban section. So spirit pool, very similar to adversary pool, is it's a large spirit pool. Each team is going to share that spirit pool. Once a spirit is picked or banned in that pool, it cannot be picked by the other team. And for the purpose of this specific PvP 6, I've chosen to ban green, regrowth green, and dances. Now, I know there's been talk of just banning all of, in quotes, all of the X tier spirits by a lot of players. Some players wanted to ban all of the S tiers as well, but we're still trying to figure that out, and I've just chosen to ban, I think, pretty much no-brainers. I don't think you can ever let these two spirits and these two spirits in this one aspect get through. I think they're just too game warping. But we'll see. Maybe Fractured ends up getting added to the list, and maybe even Stone. Okay, I've covered all of that. So board selection. This is something that we're currently allowing. But after teams have selected their spirits, they're going to be able to pick the exact board that they want, and they also get to pick the configuration. Now, no matter what, it has to be a circular island, but they can set up which order the boards get put together, and all 8 boards are available. Maybe this is something where we do randomized boards. Maybe we have the opposite team select boards. I'm not sure how we're going to do this. I know board selection is actually really important, and it's something that a lot of players, they tend to just shove off. They don't really think about it. But for some spirits, the difference between winning and losing could be a board. Like Vengeance on board C, it gets a massive advantage on board C. roots on board E. Like, it's night and day how much more strong a spirit can play based on if they get the correct board versus a weak board. Okay, so explorers. So the opposing team is always going to pick the opposite team's explorer, and it's not done immediately during the explore step, but it's done a turn in advance, but it's hidden information. And I'll explain that a little bit later. But at the start of the game, both teams are going to select the initial explorer and the turn one explorer, and those will be hidden from the opponent's team. And then, yeah, in every turn they'll be able to pick the explore card. Now for events, these are going to be the 5 events that are banned. We have Farmers, Numinous Crisis, Years of Love Rain, Lesser Spirits, and Hardworking Settlers. You'll notice that these top 2 are stuff that I always ban in my games. And Years and Lesser Spirits, I've chosen to ban these just because I can never see a situation where one team is going to give the other team one of these events, so might as well just cut them out. And then a lot of the players don't like playing with Hardworking, so I've also cut that one out as well. And this is very interesting and very different here. So a pool of 10 random events is drawn at the start of every slow phase. Both teams can see the event pool, and this can be used for planning for their event as well as the opposing team's event. So you know the event that you'll get the following turn will be one of those 10. And you'll pick one of those 10 secretly, just like you did with the Explorer, and that will be what the other team gets. So you have a little bit of event knowledge, which is pretty cool. So you can plan around that. We originally had this where you got to select the event during the event phase, and you got to use the whole pool. And we found it was so busted because you could just constantly edge case the other team. If the other team defended 2 in all of their lands, you might be able to pick the card that increases damage by 3. Or maybe they set themselves up to be susceptible to Cultural ASIM, and then you hit them really hard with that card. Or maybe you grab the card that destroys presence instantly. It gave the players so much power and so much control. And it kind of just got rid of a lot of the interactive elements. So by doing this, it enables mind games, which we really like. It also gives both teams fewer options to plan for. And it also requires you to do some thinking on the other board rather than just seeing all of their actions play out and then immediately countering them. You have to actually choose the event in advance, and I really like that. And I'll explain this more if this doesn't make sense. It's actually very easy once you actually see it play out, but when you put it into words, it can be a little confusing. So fear cards, this is the most recent change that we've made to this PBP. Before, the opposing team got to have some interaction with fear cards, and this is something that I decided to just scrap and just have fear cards just be just like normal Spirit Island. And the reason for this was I felt that fear cards they felt terrible when the other team always controlled the fear card, because it's like you never got anything that was of value, and those spirits that rely on those fear cards they were just burned. It also just increased the time to actually go through turns, because one team would have to pick the fear card, then it would have to resolve everything, and then the other team would get the fear card. It added so much extra time, and I think the added I guess interaction was fairly minimal. Blight card, this is something that is pretty interesting, created by the original user here, and we're currently using these rules. I'm not sure if these will stick, but when the Blight card is flipped, a single 2 Blight per player card. This includes the Still Healthy cards. I should probably put that still includes Still Healthy. Then you'll have a single 3 Blight per player, a single 4, and a single 5. And so there'll be 4 Blight cards that are flipped. The team that flipped the Blight card gets to ban one of those Blight cards, and then the opposing team selects one of those remaining Blight cards to be the Blight card used. So you'd flip a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Let's say I banned the 3. That means the opposing team can choose 2, 4, or 5 to give me as my Blight card. So very interesting. I mean, it's a decent system. I'm not sure if it's perfect, but I think it gets the job done. So majors and minor cards. Each team is allowed to ban a total of 3 major/minor cards from the opposing team deck. I'm not sure if this is the perfect number, but this is just what we're using for. There's been talk about permanently banning Cast Down just because it's been abused already in 2 of the 5 play-by-post games, but we will see if that actually gets done. But for this game, only 3 cards will be banned. Okay, so the PvP sequence. So we start off, we have the pregame draft, the game setup, and the turn-by-turn. We'll first start with the adversary bans. Each team is going to ban 2 adversaries. and then you'll select an adversary for the other team. So 4 bans and then 2 selected. So each team will get a selection. I should probably do selection 2. Then we move to the spirit ban selection. I forget the exact number of spirits that get banned, but 3 do get selected. And then after that, the major and minor cards get banned. And now, before the game is set up, so each team is going to secretly set up their board selection. They will then pick the opposing turn 0 explorer and turn 1 explorer. And now that I think about that, I think this has to be moved up. Yeah, I think this is, because I believe choosing the explorer is done after the board selection. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a pretty, this is a rough draft, or maybe I didn't mention it, but this is a rough draft of the rules. So as we're going through, we're making more and more adjustments. So after boards are set up, you then will secretly select the turn 0 explorer and the turn 1 explorer. And then once that's all done, we begin. Both teams get that initial explorer. They then will do their growth and fast. They then will skip the event, and then they'll get that turn 1 explorer. And then before we enter the slow phase, they are going to pick the opposing team's event and explorer for turn 2. And that's going to give them knowledge of their event that they could also get. Because remember, they're going to share a pool of 10 events. I forgot to mention, both teams can pick the same event for that event phase. So then we do the turn 1 slow, then time pass, and then you just rinse and repeat. So you have the turn 2 growth and fast. We now have that turn 2 event that was selected earlier last turn. They then get that turn 2 explore, and then they're going to pick the turn 3 event and explore. And rinse and repeat. Okay, so Spirit Island adversary ban and spirit ban section. And we are currently using the reverse rules here. I'm not sure what the best rule set is for the ban sequence, but a lot of players really like this one, so this is what we're using. And I'm going to just like talk through it here. So first we have blue team, that's team 2. They're going to get a first adversary ban, then the red team bans 2, then the blue team bans 1, and then red team will pick one of the adversaries for the blue team, and then blue team gets to pick one of the adversaries for the red team. And after that, we then enter the spirit banning section. And as you can see here, we have the red team, the 2 team, red team, and so forth. Once again, when you're banning adversaries in this section, they're banned for both teams, and you are picking the adversary for your opposing team. And then for the spirit draft section, once again, when you ban a spirit, you ban it for your team and the other team. Oh, you also ban all of the aspects for that spirit. So if you ban memory, you ban all memory's aspects. And now when you're picking the spirit, you are picking the spirit that you are going to play. Now, this is the adversary combination pool that we were using for the PBP 6 right here. And yeah, these are just adversaries that I put together to create a fun list. I currently have a pool of 30 of them. And what we've decided to do is just randomize of the 30, just take 10 of them randomly, throw them into here, and then both teams can choose to ban and select adversaries. So, and as we speak, they're currently banning some of these adversaries. I believe this one's been banned. I will bold it. That's been banned. I think they banned this guy. And they banned this. So these are the 3 that have been banned. Right now we're waiting on team. Looks like we are waiting on team blue to ban an adversary. But yeah, 3, 4, and 6 have been banned. Okay, keep going. And that's just my intro message. Yeah, so I think we're ready to go. I will be posting both games on the channel. And both teams are cool with me posting them, and I think it will be fun to see your guys' response to, number 1, the format, but 2, you guys will get to see some nice Spirit Island games that are multiplayer, that also include a lot of interactions between spirits, and I think that could be something that could be pretty beneficial for the channel. If you like this video, like, subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next video.